Hey, beautiful world. This is Gregor coming to you live from Asheville, North Carolina. Actually, when you probably see this, it won't be live anymore. But still, we can keep you enthusiastic with it being live. So, I've managed to make it to Asheville from Maine. Went to Manhattan, took a bus to Charlotte, and I hitchhiked the rest of the way here. It was a blast. And now I'm on the Dove's Nest Holistic Retreat, and off in the distance, you can see it just in the trees is Mount Pisgah, which looks strangely like a pyramid. According to Raja, the master of the household here, he says it is an Atlantean pyramid. It's interesting to think about where I am. This is the oldest part of the entire planet Earth. The oldest mountain range on the Earth is the Appalachian Mountains. So, if something went down a long time ago, I wonder what happened here. So, I want to talk about water because, well, we're like 70% water. It's what gives us life. What gives a lot of things life. And so, our hearts. Let's see if we can get my heart in there. Yeah, we got our heart. Yeah. So water comes into your heart and it pumps it. And that pump, though, usually you just hear talking about the pumping. You don't hear about the vorticular action the water does. It creates a double vorticular action, which implodes the water. It implodes it at the golden ratio, creating a fractal structure, a fractal piece of geometry that's twisting energy, twisting this water smaller and smaller, perpetually, forever, infinitely toward singularity. What I mean by forever, that's a metaphysical concept I'm not going to get into. But you're creating a structure that allows a connection of this external geometry with the infinite source through a point in space. Okay? And that connection is what connects us to the source. It's what gives us consciousness. It's what gives us life. It organizes zero-point energy. So, now let's apply this concept to living water and stagnant water and understanding it. This is all about Victor Schauberger's work. And say with a river, and this is what he studied, just looking at a river. When water goes down a river, it hits all these pebbles and obstacles along the side, which causes the water vortex to turn, to twist, okay? And it introduces kinetic motion into the water. This is space-time, right? The fundamental of this reality is kinetic motion. And so, by just spinning your water, I got my little green tea here. And just by vortexing, I really can't vortex much in this cup, but I did it earlier with a spoon, and I did it both directions. I always do it at least once in both directions. The Tibetans say to go back and forth 3 times each. Clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise. And to fully activate and make your water come alive. Because when your water doesn't have that kinetic motion in it, it's stagnant, okay? It doesn't have awareness. It's the kinetic motion of the water which gives it life. It gives it awareness. And so, when you drink that water and you consume it and it's alive, okay? And especially if you're drinking public drinking water, which has fluoride in it, and there's also arsenic and lead and other toxins that could be in your water. So you drink that water and it's not alive. It's conscious. It has awareness. And you drink it. That water is a messenger. Like they talk about mercury. It's a messenger. And you consume that water, and that water talks to your body. It's like, guess what? There's fluoride. I'm carrying some fluoride, some arsenic, some lead. You don't want that. I do have a little bit of iron and these other minerals. You want that. So take this stuff. The other stuff just flush out. Okay? And it's conscious life. Life is so advanced and so powerful that people are trying to advance so many things technologically. And that's the interesting thing. It's coming from the guy who's working with technology. But when it comes to health, you can keep things really simple. Nature has made it this far already for a reason. So let's go with that reason and keep playing with it. Now, if the water is stagnant, say it's just going through straight pipes, right? It's just getting pushed along. You're not letting it twist and charge itself up. It's just dead. And so when you drink it, it doesn't communicate with your body. You absorb everything in that water. And that's even if you can absorb the water. Because a big thing that happens is when water is stagnant, it starts to clump together into big water molecule chains, essentially. And they get so big, your pores in your body, it's not able to move through the membranes and you don't even absorb the water. You can drink a full glass of stagnant water, and it can get flushed straight through your system, and you can absorb it just like you're drinking salt water, because it's that stagnant. So adding that motion to the water is essential. It's so essential, because when you're going to absorb all of it, but you're also absorbing the nutrients you want, while the other nutrients get flushed, or the negative toxins get flushed outside of your system. Now, I had a lovely experience when I was at Tesla Tech last summer with a man who's now in Sedona, who worked for the government for 40 years. We call him a Tesla scientist. And he developed, after working for 40 years with the government on billion-dollar projects, after he left the government and working for them, there was one thing he wanted to do. That's work with water. And he now sells water filters, which is the simplest concept. And he has a PVC tube, and inside that PVC tube is two glass spheres, two glass spheres, two glass spheres, two glass spheres, and two more glass spheres, and it's just alternating back and forth. And so when the water hits those glass spheres, it goes in 4 directions around those 2 glass spheres. But then it hits the other 2, which are now perpendicular in direction, and so they go in opposing directions. So it creates 4 spiraling sets of water going down, which fully activates the water. Actually, he said his devices activate to a level of 98%, and that there's a few other modifications you can add to it to make it more active. Like we were thinking, instead of using glass balls, using them like a golf ball. You're getting more texture surface in it. You don't want that whole chamber to be smooth. And that's what they also realized with aircraft recently. This is, as of this year, they realized dimpling an aircraft increases fuel economy. It took them a long time to figure that one out. And understanding how it allows, it's almost like creating a gel coat along the surface of a plane. It will just slide through it easier. So vortices, they make things alive. And so I'm right here now in Asheville, and it's making things alive, the vortices around here. So if you do come to the Dove's Nest Holistic Retreat, there is Vortex tours, which I hopefully will be participating on and taking you out in the Mystery Machine at some point. But I'm probably going to be leaving here for a while to go do other little explorations and synchronistic experiences and start rallying the troops, because that's what we got to do, is rally the troops. These light workers, we need to start working together as a team. We need to start pulling together. You need to start taking a step of the old paradigm in the new. And some people will say, oh, you can't just step out of the old to the new. It's a transition. Yeah, it's a transition. It takes time. However, sometimes it's just as simple as, turning your perspective and being like, I'm going that way and not that way. When you start to really go that way, you're really going that way. And as I'm saying, the Tao and the way. And it's fun to be in the way, because once you're in the way, things just crazy start happening, all these synchronistic things. And last night, after all this synchronicity after synchronicity just compounding, I couldn't take it anymore. And I was in this intense conversation at the end of the night, and I was just like, this can't get any more crazy. And the person who's talking in front of me, a little black cat, walks up behind the door and just starts scratching at the door. And yeah, that just did it in for me, seeing that little black cat come in out of the cold. We don't know where it came from, absolute stray, little black kitten. It couldn't be more black. And I would say it wasn't a bad omen. It was good. The universe was telling us something. And so pay attention to those synchronicities. They're going to be pointing you in the right way. But the thing is, multiple synchronicities are going to pop up. And you can choose whatever way you want to go. That's the power of free will. The thing is, my opinion is, always take, compassion into consideration. You don't necessarily have to even take into consideration, because you just naturally do it. Well, this is Gregor Arturo. I think this was an excellent little metaphysical venting session, and I hopefully will run into more of you on the road, because who knows where I'm going to end up next. My goal right now is to go crank out some money and go into my friend's workshop, and we're going to get this fucking van we're looking to get running completely off of water. And some people will be like rolling their eyes, yep, that's what they always say. But guess what? It's gonna happen. I'm not the only one doing it. A lot of us are gonna start doing it, because guess what? This 100th monkey effect is gonna start kicking in to where a lot of us, if not all of us, are gonna be understanding how energy actually works, how this reality wants to flow, and how we want to co-create and manifest whatever the fuck we want. And I dropped the F-bomb for a reason, because guess what? Y'all gotta stop being serious and start playing with it. Okay? Because as my friend once said, may he rest in peace, is namaste, motherfucker. Have a good one, guys.